So these are two of the most interesting silver income ETFs right now, but they're completely different and most people don't understand why. Today we're going to be comparing two different ways to invest in silver. On one side, you have a covered call ETF designed to generate high income. On the other, you have an ETF designed to track silver and enhance returns. They both use options, they both pay income, but they are built for completely different investors. And most people, unfortunately, don't understand this. So, by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which one of these actually makes sense for your situation, and more importantly, when one will outperform the other. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, I do want to put out a disclaimer that nothing in this video is financial advice. Please do your own research and always consult with a financial professional. On a previous video, I focused on a gold ETF. If you haven't seen that video, here is the link to it. But today I'm going to focus on silver because it's getting a lot of attention recently. Let's start with SLJY, the 18% income ETF. This fund is built around one idea: generate as much income as possible from silver-related assets. But here's the catch. It doesn't actually own silver directly. It owns junior silver mining companies and then sells options on top of them.
What is that?
A junior silver mining company is a small, early-stage company focused on finding and developing silver deposits rather than producing large amounts of silver. At least not yet. So, looking at a simple breakdown, junior would be small, early-stage, higher risk, opposite of major, which would be a big established company with active mines and steady revenue. And here is a screenshot of the top holdings for the ETF. So I took this straight from the fund's website, and as you can see, what they do is they buy long exposure to SILJ and underlying equities of it. And what they do is they write options. So they sell covered calls on a portion of the portfolio. They roll it and distribute it, and they're targeting an 18% annual premium income. I also wanted to show you a graphic representation of how they've done. Now, this fund actually was launched in August of 25, so here's the 6-month. Now going into the 3-month performance. And I'm also going to pull up the most recent 1-month performance so you can graphically see how they're doing.
All right, well, I can handle that.
Now, KSLV takes a completely different approach. Instead of maximizing income, it tries to stay tied to the price of silver. Then, and only then, it uses options to generate additional income. So instead of saying, how much income can we squeeze out of this, KSLV is asking, how do we enhance returns without completely killing the upside? And that's a very different philosophy. I wanted to highlight their performance so far. This is a young fund, but nevertheless, I'm going to point out the 1-month and 3-month performance here. Now let's make this real. I'm going to paint you 3 different scenarios that will hopefully make it clear which of these 2 ETFs makes the most sense for you. Scenario number 1, silver goes up big, say 20%, 25%. So if silver rallies hard, KSLV will likely participate in that move. Maybe not perfectly, but significantly. SLJY is a different story. Because it's selling upside, it can miss a large portion of that rally. So in a bull market, your 18% income might come at the cost of a much bigger gain that would be possible. Scenario number 2, silver goes sideways. Now, this is where SLJY is going to shine, because in a flat market, there's no big moves, and you're just collecting income consistently. Now, KSLV, to be fair, also is going to generate income, but not nearly as aggressively. And finally, scenario number 3, silver drops. Okay, look, if silver falls both of these ETFs are going to go down. That's the bottom line. The income helps, but it does not protect you. And remember, SLJY is holding mining stocks, which can actually fall harder than silver itself. So here's the part most investors miss. These are not just two ETFs, they are two completely different strategies. SLJY is saying, I want the income now, even if it costs me later. KSLV is saying, I want exposure first and income as a bonus. Now, they're both using the same tools, options, but totally different intent. So the question is, who is each one actually for? This is my opinion, but SLJY makes sense if you are focused on income, comfortable with volatility, and willing to sacrifice upside. KSLV makes more sense if you are bullish on silver, you want exposure first, and like the idea of added income, not forced income. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it and found value, please hit the like and subscribe button. The sentiment of the channel is to focus on covered call ETFs, and my commitment to you is to put out a new piece of content every single week. Thank you again. Have a great and prosperous rest of your week. I'll see you on the very next episode.